Good evening. I hope everyone is doing well and had a good weekend and is taking care of themselves, practicing self care, and just looking forward to starting the new week. And I kind of went back and forth about whether I wanted to even do an episode today and also what to do it about. Just been kind of in a space as of recently where I'm just trying to figure out some things and next steps. And I know I've said that before, but now I'm in a space where I really have to think about my future and a little bit more in depth and what I need to do like within the next month. So yeah, and I can't really, I just don't feel like I'm in a space to talk about it right now, but I will do an episode on what it's about. It's just some significant life change that is occurring in my life. But as always, I try to be as open as possible with my future, as well as having 100% faith that things that occur in my life, it's for a reason. And so the information that I found out on Friday, just I've only shared it with my family and close friends, but like I said, I will talk about it eventually. But right now I just kind of have to still process some things that happen in your life, especially that are unplanned or that occur in your life but not in the way that you planned it or you wanted it to, can definitely stumble you, right? And it's to me, this is an occurrence where it's really been a space where God is saying for me, like, you need to slow down and not only process this, but look at it from a perspective of this is occurring for a reason. I feel like this is happening because God is kind of sparking the fire under me, to kind of like push me along and get going. Because I've been saying that I wanted to do some things within my future, like move to another state and stuff like that. And now I'm kind of in a space where that is definitely a high possibility and something that I could really focus on. So overall, I'm a mix of emotions, I suppose, and I'm really just trying to take everything in and get a full understanding of like what to do next. And sometimes I hate being in that space where I don't know what's happening next and what's going to happen, and trying to just understand some things. And most importantly for me personally is always trying to tap in and connect with my higher self and with God, and just really understand not only the lesson that I'm learning or going through or whatever, but what is the next step that's going to get me to where I need to be. Like, this is occurring, all right, cool, like it's not what I expected, but I need to know why and where do I go from here. And I think that's really where the state I'm in is, like, where do I go from here? Not in the sense of like, my life is astray, I don't know where I am on my next step. Not that. It's more so like I have so many of these different, almost like, what is that game? Candyland? I think it's Candyland, where there's so many different avenues that you can go to land in the same place, which is like your destiny. And I feel like right now I'm kind of in Candyland in the sense of like I could go to the blue route, the red route, green, whatever. I'm pretty sure that's how Candyland goes. I forget. I think so. But that's kind of where I feel like I'm at. Like, I just need to roll the dice and see what direction I'm supposed to go to. So and I'm trying to find this quote that I created out of my head, but it was it was like when I told my mom and my brothers about it, something that I said was, nothing happens by coincidence. God clearly has a plan. And that just came to my head, and it's something that I believe in. I think that nothing really happens by coincidence. I'm pretty sure I've talked about this a lot on the podcast, how I believe that your life is already written, and things that happen to us, God is not surprised by it because he wrote it and he already knew. He's already on to the next page. He's already, like, for me right now, like, I guess I would say my ego right now. I'm still in my ego where I'm a mix of emotions, and I'm trying to just figure out where I am emotionally and then how to get to my next place and what to do. Where my higher self and my soul and God is already, like, they're already there at the solution. They're already there at my next step, which is going to be something great. So they're kind of just like watching my ego self from afar, like, all right, give her some time, let this girl get herself together, you know what I mean, and she'll catch up. And if not, we're gonna give her some clues of how to get over here, because we're ready, you know what I mean. We're past that, you know, like, God is always past that stuff, and not in a sense of like get over it. He's going to allow you the space to be in your emotions, but God always knows the right thing for us before we even know for ourselves. So I'm sure that when I get to the next place and I can look back at today and in this past weekend, in this past since Friday, I will be able to understand why it occurred, even though I already know why it's occurring. But from a spiritual sense, it's more so just, it's part of the growth. And I remember asking God as of recently, a few weeks ago, I think, for growth. I know I asked for growth within this year, and yeah, he didn't waste no time. It's not even the end of January. He said, "Oh, growth, bet, I got you. Here you go, bam!" Like, threw me in full force. But I still say I'm excited. I'm excited for multiple reasons. Not even just about that, but like, I got my first sale, which was pretty cool. I found that out Thursday. So shout out to my customer. And I'm looking forward to doing some more sales. And I still been researching and just figuring out, this is like, doing this business thing and making clothing and merchandise, and how just to do it's a process. And I'm a one-woman show, so I'm doing really the best that I can, and not trying to give myself a hard time to make sure that things are perfect, because life is all about the evolution, and that's in anything. And so even with my products, I've seen the evolution just from when I had a printer, and I still have my printer, but there was this paper that I was using to print, and then I switched the paper to like something more upgraded that I found just from research. And I had an original like handheld heat press, and now I have like a actual heat press machine. So it's just, again, I'm evolving, and that was within 2 or 3 months of those things that I changed. So this year is just starting, so I'm excited to see the growth within my products and my podcast and just my brand itself. I'm working on, yes, I think I said how like my brand, my podcast and brand is officially an LLC, but I'm also in the works of trying to even upgrade that and make it more of a corporation. So I just, again, I'm a one-woman show, and I'm learning things. These things are on my own, and I'm more than anything learning how to practice grace and give myself grace. I think it's something that I really just sometimes forget to do as a high achiever, and just I don't really consider myself a perfectionist, because I know I'm not perfect, and I'm super lazy sometimes. So I would never say that I'm a perfectionist. I'm a more I like to have things looking right, but I'm not gonna lie, I'm a procrastinator. I will wait till the last minute on stuff. But usually when I do, I like that, sort of, in a sense of, I try to not do it with everything, but I just like to go at my own pace. And I think that's more what it is. I'm not a procrastinator, but I like to go things at my own pace. And so yeah, I'm just learning how to balance that also, like even with this podcast. Like, I me going back and forth about whether I should do an episode, I had to check myself and be like, it's not about me, it's about the fact that I said that I wanted to grow my podcast. I said I wanted to be consistent with episodes. I said I wanted to, but I feel like if I say I want to have a podcast and I appreciate my listeners, then I have to be consistent to give out content. So yeah, it took some time earlier today to kind of just rest and chill, but then now I'm in a space where I can sit down and record. And even with that, I'm going to make sure I do better with trying to record with video as well, just for people who may not have Instagram or TikTok and have never actually seen what I look like. You just hear my voice. I think now Spotify has a way where you can, not Spotify, but Anchor has a way, I think, where you can actually watch video too of the recording of the podcast. So I'll definitely start working on that. But yeah, overall, I'm really going and growing, going and growing and flowing, and knowing a little bit about what's to come. So I'm really trying to just wing it to an extent, but also be very much in tune with God and talk more to God and listen to what God has to tell me about where I am, because I don't feel like this is even a wilderness period of my life. It's more so like I'm in the garden right now. Like I'm in my garden, the garden of my life, where I can see the different around me are the different times and places where I've grown and bloomed, and those times are around me to remind me that I can get through this too, and I can grow through this as well. And if you can allow yourself to be in that type of space, it's a very I don't even want to say humbling. It's an overwhelming feeling of just joy and like faith. At least for me, I would say, because you know that even if I've never been in this position before, but I've felt like this before, where I'm like, God, what's going on? But I've been able to see the growth just from seeing my old self, and other situations, like I said, where I felt similar, where now I can react in a different way. I'm not, freaking out or going into like woe is me mode, but more so like, okay, I'm tapping in with myself and checking in and saying that, okay, this is how I feel, but at the same time, it's gonna be okay, really. So again, I don't want to stay on that because I'm being kind of vague, but it's just for right now. But I am gonna, like I said, I'm gonna do an episode on what I'm talking about, but I'm just more so just still digesting everything for myself. So that's another reason why I'm not really being upfront with it, but I'm fine. It's not like a health thing or anything like that, but it's more so just like a life, not life choice, but life decision that I have to make. I'm not pregnant, but it's just like it's something else. Like, this is other stuff. So it's just more so about my future. But anyway, I wanted to talk today about partly about how I'm feeling in this situation, but also just some posts that I saw. And it's sort of, in the sense, the gist of it is more so like a reminder when you're feeling behind, but also just like how things work within the universe and God's timing and stuff like that. So there's 3 different quotes or different posts that I saw that I wanted to read and talk about in this sense. So the first one I saw, it said, meet yourself wherever you are. You are not behind. You are right on time. You are exactly where you need to be. and under it said, we all start somewhere. So I feel like this I screenshotted as a reminder for myself, just because, again, of what I'm going through, and having to remind myself that this is, for one, that it's not my fault, and it's right on time. This was a part of the plan. I just didn't know the plan, but I have to meet myself where I am and show myself compassion and grace, but also not lose sight of the goals of my life, and just relax and knowing that I'm exactly where God wants me to be, and it's for a reason. God has a plan. And so then that brings me on to the next post, where it says, also the first one, that was from TikTok, so it was from some like For You page that I found. And then the other one, this next one, is from Instagram page. Her name is Joanna San Diego. And it says, the post says, in God's timeline, no season is ever wasted in God's timeline. Whatever you're going through, no matter how painful it is, God will definitely use it so he can bring you closer to him. And so I hope you seek worship and trust him more. He is a God who doesn't waste a pain. And then under it says, he is a God who doesn't waste the pain. And so again, this kind of just stuck out to me just from what I'm going through, and how it said, no season is ever wasted. And it's true. Like, if it's painful and you allow yourself to go to God, it's just going to bring you closer to him, which is going to allow you to have that direction of what he's trying to give you anyway. And so like I said, I'm grateful for this space that I'm in, because it could be a lot worse, and it's not. And I'm looking at it as an opportunity for growth, but also just, this is what I've been manifesting anyway, and what I've been asking the universe for. It's just not the way that I necessarily saw it, but it's necessary for it to occur this way, for whatever reason I have not come across yet, but I'm being hopeful. And so the last post is from, this was also from TikTok. It was from a page called Thought Catalog, and it says, a reminder for those who feel like they're falling behind. So it says, you're not where you want to be, and it's okay. Everyone starts somewhere. This is where you are right now. It doesn't mean you'll be here forever. It doesn't mean you're stuck. It just means this is where you stand today. I know this journey feels so overwhelming. I know it feels impossibly long and difficult and painful. And I know there are days when it feels easier to give up. But the truth is that most things worth having don't come easy. Change takes time. Getting to a better place takes time. You aren't a failure because it's taking you so long, or because you're struggling just to start. You aren't weak or incapable. You're human. This work is hard. It's uncomfortable and mentally and physically taxing and terrifying. And it makes sense that it would take you time. It makes sense that this is a struggle. You don't have to solve your whole life overnight, and you don't have to feel ashamed for being where you are. All you have to focus on is one small thing you can do today to get closer to where you want to be. Slowly and lightly, one step at a time. You can get there. Every effort you make adds up over time, and you're capable of doing that work. So breathe and trust that it's okay to be here today. Trust that something better is coming. Trust that you have what it takes to get there. So definitely going to dive into this and pull it apart, but I really loved this message, and I needed that message. So I was super grateful to have found this. And so just in relation to what I was talking about, just when you feel like you're behind, or you feel like you don't know what's going on, or you feel like you're in a space that you didn't imagine yourself to be in, or something is disrupting your plans, I suppose, of life. I think this is what it's kind of talking about. Like right, for me, I'll just keep using myself as a reference. Like right now, where I want to be, not 100%, but it's just like this almost like 10-20% thing that's about to potentially could impact the other 80%, if that makes sense. And that's why it's like that 10 to 20% is not necessarily bothering me, but it's something that I have to think about. How do I change that? And so just reminding myself that, like it says, it's okay. And everyone, you have to start somewhere. And this is where I'm at right now. And I'm here. This is not forever. I already know that. Whenever I feel like I'm in a place where I'm not happy or uncomfortable, or my growth is being stunted, or just doesn't feel good energetically, spiritually, I already know this is not my forever place. And that could be in relationships, work, anything. If you feel like this is not, I don't feel comfortable, like, then you already know subconsciously that that's not where you're going to be forever anyway. So you just kind of have to roll with it. And so, like it says, doesn't mean you're stuck. It just means this is where you are today. And yeah, life is a journey, and it's overwhelming. It's like a roller coaster, right? We all know that as humans. Like, one day things can be real good, and then the next day you're like, really? Like, that's what we're doing today? Like, like your life can flip upside down within seconds. So you always have to be just roll with it. And again, when stuff like that occurs, I run straight to God, because I'm just like, okay, I'm not gonna try to sit here and stress myself trying to solve it myself. Just show me what's up, like what do I need to do. And sometimes God disrupts our lives in various ways to get our attention too, and bring us closer to him, because even if we have been close to God, we think we haven't still been close enough. And he knows that certain things, if they have your attention too much, or it's stressing you out too much, or you're too invested emotionally to that, then he will disrupt it, whether it be taking it away or making it uncomfortable, so that's something to keep in mind as well. And so I'm just kind of running through. Like it says, change takes time, and most things worth having don't come easy. That is so true. I think when I think about that, I think about my business. Like, it's still coming together, and I've literally just made one sale, but I just started it. But that, it's going to take time. Change takes time, and getting to a better place takes time. So just, again, allow yourself grace to get to where you want to be. At least you know where you want to be. That's a big step right there. If you know where you want to be, that's more than half the battle, because there are people out in this world who literally are just wandering aimlessly. They don't know where they're going. They don't know where they want to go. They don't know what they want to do with their life. They literally just live day to day doing the same mundane activities with no hope, no type of drive, no type of ambition, no type of goals. And if that's what you want to do, that's fine. My feeling personally is that you're not meant to be on this earth to literally wander aimlessly. Everyone has a purpose, like I've talked about before. It's just whether you're you're too afraid to tap in and find what your purpose is, because you know that whatever it is, it's going to take work, and it's going to take you to fall down, but you're going to have to get back up. And if you're too afraid of getting back up and having a little scrape here or there, then yeah, you will stay in a mundane circle of continuously just doing the same things, and you're not feeding yourself spiritually to be happy. So more props to people who do try to find their purpose and try to work on completing their purpose. That's something to be commendable. So, like it says, you're not a failure. If it's taking you a long time, because good things take time. You think about, like I said last episode when I was talking about the macaroni and cheese, and how it takes time, and you can't disrupt it. And good things take time. You gotta let it manifest. You gotta let it marinate. You gotta let it cook. You gotta let all the things come together to bring about the dish. And another like it says here, you're human. We have to remember that too. I think a lot of times we put so much stress on ourselves and hard work, and it's it's tough. And we just have to keep going. I'm just looking at the timer. Sorry. And so then what else it says? It's uncomfortable, mentally and physically taxing. This is true. And it makes sense that it would take you time. So really it's just saying, like, give yourself time and grace, because everything is going to come together at the time that it needs to. And it's not something that you can solve overnight. And we are all going through things. Since 2020, life has just been a whirlwind, and everyone has been hit in some type of way, whether it be through the pandemic and work, or just the pandemic and COVID, or just different things, different disruptions within our lives. And it's just been a flow of ups and downs, but we've powered through, and so you can definitely keep going. And like, I like how it says you don't have to feel ashamed for being where you are. I definitely love that, because it was a reminder to me, because I was feeling a little bit ashamed about what's happening. And but then I had to, like I said, remind myself very quickly, this is not my fault. This is not something that you did. It's just something that had to happen for the reason I don't completely know yet, but I will know. And all you have to focus on is one small thing today and get closer to where you want to be. And that's what I did today. Like, all right, I cooked and I'm doing a podcast episode. Like, that's just one or two small things. And I did my hair, and that's it. Took a nap. Those are the small things that I did today. I didn't try to overdo myself and do multiple things like I usually do, and just gave myself grace. And so the last part, it says you can get there. Every effort you make adds up over time. So breathe and trust that it's okay to be here today. Trust that something better is coming. Trust that you have what it takes to get there. And I feel like that's the major thing. If you trust that you have what it takes to get to where you want to be, then you will get there, no matter how high or how low you have to go, and what obstacles come your way. You still have to keep your eyes on the prize and your eyes on your future and where you're trying to go. And nobody can do that, because nobody can stop you from that. You better believe, and for me, you better believe nothing's holding me back. So I don't care what it looks like today. I already have a vision of what my future looks like. I already know where I'm going to be, what the people look like that are going to be around me, and what my life is going to look like. So this doesn't define me where I am. It's just a part of the story. And it's good, because it'll be a story that I can tell, years from now, about how I came about, when I'm maybe getting interviewed or something, like on TV or something. I don't know, for my podcast, for my business, whatever it is, like whatever I'm about to make, because I'm always trying to grow and get to the next step and continue to make it, make things bigger for my brand, for myself. So, but yeah, I just wanted to do that as a check-in / kind of sharing of what's going on / needed to do an episode to stay consistent, and just kind of give a message that maybe somebody else might be needing as well. So again, this is just a reminder for those who feel like they're falling behind or things are going a little bit array in your life. Nothing is happening by coincidence. It's all for a reason. You got to trust the process. And trust in yourself, that you will trust in your higher self, that your higher self is smart enough to know that this is a part of the plan too, and it will guide you where you need to be. So, as always, thank you for listening to the Black Hippie Lounge podcast. I'm your host, Chanel. As always, you can follow my Instagram at Black Hippie Lounge and my TikTok at Black Hippie Lounge. I have Twitter as well, but I don't really use it as much. And you can go onto my website that is pinned in both of those pages, and look at the merchandise that I have available, which includes like hoodies and t-shirts for now, and I'm going to expand that as well. I'm working on it. And as always, meditate, manifest, invest in you, and remember that nothing is a coincidence. It's all a part of the plan. God is already at your next step of where you need to be. He's just waiting for you to gather your stuff to get there. So stay the course, stay motivated, stay focused, and do what you need to do to get to where you want to be. Remember where you want to be and do everything within your power to get there. And you will. So good luck. Meditate, manifest, invest in you. Join me on my spiritual journey as I elevate myself and like-minded listeners to a higher level mentally, physically, and spiritually. Thank you for listening. This is Black Hippie Lounge, and I am your host, Chanel.